In this video, we're going to be using function notation. So function notation is just instead of y equals, so normally in an equation we would have like y equals 3x plus 1. Instead of y equals, what they're using now is f of x equals. And that's to show that your equation's a function, that whatever your final result is depends on what you input to the function. So here, your name of your function is the letter in front. Usually they use f, but they could use g, h, any letter. When you're reading it, you wouldn't say f parentheses x, you would say f of x. Whatever's in parentheses is your input or your domain, your x. Whatever's your final result is your output or your range. So for example, if we were to have f of 2, then we would input 2 for x into the problem and work it out. If we were to have f of negative 4, then we would input or plug in negative 4 for x and work out our problem. So here we have some sample problems. This is just like what we did back in topic 1.2 where we were evaluating. Sorry, topic 1.1 where we were evaluating. So now we're going to do f of negative 3. So that means we're going to use function f from the top. So I'm going to start by writing out function f. So f of x equals 3x squared plus 2x minus 5. And now I'm going to input or plug in 3, negative 3, for x into my function. So everywhere I see an x, I'm going to plug in negative 3. I like to put empty parentheses everywhere I see an x, because then it's very easy to go back and plug in that negative 3 for my parentheses. And now I can start to work it out using PEMDAS. So negative 3 squared is negative 3 times negative 3, or 9. 3 times 9 is 27. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. So I have 27 minus 6 minus 5. 27 minus 6 is 21. If you subtract 5, you get 16 as your answer. So f of negative 3 is equal to 16. For problem 2, we're still going to use f, but this time we're going to do f of 2x. So I'm going to start by writing f of x equals 3x squared plus 2x minus 5. Then I'm going to leave an empty parentheses everywhere I see x. That way I can go plug in now 2x into all of those empty parentheses. So here, if I do 2x squared, that means I'm doing 2x times 2x, which is 4x squared. So this becomes 3 times 4x squared. Now I can multiply. 3 times 4x squared is 12x squared. 2 times 2x is positive 4x. Here we don't have any like terms because you can't combine x squared with x. So I'm going to leave my answer like this. And this would be for f of 2x. Our next problem wants us to do g of negative 3. So let's see what g is. Here they told us g equals 6 over square root of x plus 12. So I'm going to write the same problem, but everywhere I see an x, I'm going to put an empty parentheses so that I know to plug in my negative 3. And then I can work out my problem. So here, I would have 6 over square root. Negative 3 plus 12 is 9. So this becomes 6 over square root of 9. The square root of 9 is 3. And now if you do 6 divided by 3, you get 2 as your answer. So g of negative 3 is equal to 2. The next problem, we're going to use h. So h is equal to negative 2/3 x plus 6. I'm going to put an empty parentheses everywhere I see x. And for this one, our input, or what we're plugging in, is 6a minus 12. Here, since there's parentheses, I'm going to distribute. So negative 2/3 times 6a means we're doing negative 2/3 times 6. That would be negative 12 divided by 3, or negative 4a. Then negative 2/3 times negative 12. Negative 2 times negative 12 is 24. If you divide that by 3, you get positive 8. So now we can combine like terms. 8 plus 6 is 14, so this is negative 4a plus 14. And that's for h of 6a minus 12. So if you have a variable as your input, your final answer is still going to have a variable. It's not going to be just a number. The last problem here is a little different. They say find x when h of x equals 10. So we're using h of x. So I'm going to write down h of x equals negative 2/3 x plus 6. But this time, when they're using h of x, they already told us that it equals 10. So they're actually giving us our output this time. And they want us to find our input, or x. So they want us to find x. They're telling us h of x equals 10. So we're not plugging in 10 for x. What they're saying is h of x right here is equal to 10. So that whole answer is equal to 10. So we actually have an equation and we can solve it for x. So I would start by doing minus 6. So we have 4 equals negative 2/3 x. Anytime you have a fraction, you can multiply by the denominator to undo it. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. So I get 12 equals negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. If you divide by 3, it becomes negative 2x. Basically, the 3's cancel each other out. And now your last step would be to divide the negative 2. If you divide 12 by negative 2, you get negative 6. For your answer is x.